hope traders and investors alike were green today. What an awesome day in the market. Just a very nice, easy, tradable trend. So let's get to the charts. AMC, we have broken below this support level here. It did respect this trend line. We've broken below. 9's right there. Got a nice little bear flag going on there. Looking like a move lower. Our sentiment is still very, very bearish, which means we could easily see a bounce to let these things cool off. So our put to call ratio is 120. It's in the bearish zone. We've spent most of the year here, to be honest, so I'm not as concerned about that as I am the oscillators. As you can see, the Nasdaq is still down here at 301. We were like 303 this morning. The New York Stock Exchange is still 292. So this is telling us that, the market, which we already know, we're sold, pretty oversold. We're extended to the downside. So I'm not looking for an all new high or anything, just expecting a bounce to come. But we have to see a clear signal to go in with calls. Like today, there was no clear signals to go in, try to buy calls. Very strong trend to the downside. The trend's your friend. Stay with the trend. You'll make money. The SPX, this is the weekly, so now we are below the 9 and 20 there. The dollar still got this cup and handle, still expecting a push here. VIX above the 50, 200 above all your major moving averages. Watching for a move up. If this market keeps selling, I would expect a move up. A nice back into the Bollinger Bands here. Nice pullback. So you actually have a nice bull flag here, flagging into your moving averages. You can see the VIX pretty much chopped around today. So we're still elevated, but for the most part, we just traded sideways. Small pullback and then trade sideways. Crude, we had finally broke up above this 200 day, the 50. It was in the way. As you can see, we were rejected at the 50, and we are now back below all our major moving averages. You could extend this trend line, see if you can find some support down the trend line, maybe hit the trend line and go up for a bounce. But that's putting a hurting on our energy plays, having a deep overall market sell-off. We're able to find some names that are running in intraday, but the market, for the most part, is just an overall sell right now. So you got this large cup here on Apple. It's pulling back. We could be putting in a handle. The 50 day is what's still worth watching here. We are below the 200 yesterday. We got below the 200 today. We opened up below the 200, even gapping up some in pre-market, and we started to sell. But in pre-market, there were some names that were gapping up. Trying to push up a little bit, but at market open, we end up pulling back. You can see the 9 and the 20 coming down. I would not be surprised to see it hang out here, wait on this 9 another day, and then try to continue lower. The 50 could actually support. The MACD is pretty bearish there. AMD. This is the pattern we were watching in the Discord, this little downtrend channel here, and we were able to break out of that, found some support at the 50, and then we were able to take the 50 out. Tried pushing back up and then back down yesterday, and today just opened up to the downside. Seagate come out and guided down, so that made everything in the semi sector, that made us bearish on semis, which we were already kind of bearish on them anyway. So that's help pay the bills. Affirm, you can see Affirm, you kind of head and shoulderish here, shoulder, head, shoulder. Either way, you got a bear flag breaking down, putting in another bear flag. We do have a gap here to the upside. Looks like a small gap there. Maybe not. Waiting on that 9 to catch up. You can see Affirm did try to push it open and ended up pulling back today. We actually had it on the radar at open. Amazon, this tried to push up in pre-market, looked good, but it pushed right into your 200 here. You could possibly draw a trend line right through there too. I didn't try that, but that could have been an area of resistance. Not sure. Either way, we run into this 200 and we end up selling. So Amazon made a good clear move down right from market open, basically. AMC, we pulled back at market open, ended up recovering, still never took out the opening, the high of the day there. AMD, you can see right at market open, we were pulling back, ended up recovering a little bit, pulled back again, did recover right here at the end, and just lost going into after hours. Having a deep sell there for some reason. May try to check some news on that. Amazon, we had this gap down here, got this inverted cup and handle, and it's working to the downside. The 50-day here is the target. Apple, you can see the sell off, especially yesterday, big sell. Today, just a steady grind down. Easy money today, still selling in after hours. See Boeing here, kind of getting a rounded topish here, back below all the major, back below your 9 and 20, you still have your 50 down here, your 200 as well, you're below that, but you still have your 50 down here. But below the 9 and 20, we could easily pull back to support, and you can actually see some support in this area. We had this gap, and the gap's been filled, but we can find some support right here on top of these candles. If that don't hold, maybe some support in this area, and then watch for the 50. So it's got a few levels there that could kind of be in the way. Maybe some easier stuff to trade if you're not so active. Bitcoin weekly down to support now, trying to push up off from it. You can see really just a bear flag, bear flag into the 9, pulled amp, we pull back, bear flagging into the 9. Would be nice to take this downtrend out. We'll have to see. As of right now, we're going to look at it for another move down. Boeing 15-minute chart, you can see this thing run up in pre-market and then just had a nice steady sell into the day. Chewy, bad earnings, move down on that one. CVX, actually CVX had a strong day at open, big push here. End up pulling back, but this thing had a big push. Energy's always on our radar. It's one of the things that we watch. DraftKings, see the bear flag. For Sunday's video, we had this bear flag and this move down. The next candle opened up, pushed up, tried to retest, wasn't able to do it, and we've been steady flagging off the 9 on the way down. So your 9 moving average is actually resistance, and you can take entries off of that. ExxonMobil, you can see the big push here as well. So it sold off. I noted in the Discord early yesterday morning that energy was selling hard, and at market open it ended up recovering. Had crude numbers coming out at 10:30 as well today, so that was a catalyst. GME, this thing is just plowing down. I don't know what to say there. Bearish on it anyway. So you got the cup and handle here that we had on GE. Got this move up out of, you can look at this as a cup and handle or just a rounded bottom and a flag. Either way you want to look at it, it played out. We ended up pushing here. We took out this level of resistance, couldn't hold it. The 9 kind of put in, so you can almost see a rounded top right there. Kind of put in a rounded top, ended up pulling back. So we had this bear flag here, and we were looking for a move down off of that, and that's exactly what we've gotten. So we've broken below the support level here. So GE right now looks like more move to the downside. Unfortunately, the MACD just looks like it's just getting started. You can see it just starting to pinch and gap open here. Looks like it's really just getting started to the downside. Google, we had this rounded top up here. You can almost see a shoulder, head, shoulder, either way you want to look at it. We're putting a bear flag here now, waiting on the 9 to catch up. MACD, very bearish. We talked about that Sunday, that a lot of these, the MACDs were bearish. Qs, the little inverted head and shoulders, if you do a measured move on that, it'll take you down to about 296-ish. So we could still continue down to 296. We're below the 50, trying to let the 9 catch up, but we are extended, looks like about $6 extended away from your 9. So we would like to see that catch up. could easily see a chop day, especially with the indicators, being so overheated. Can easily see a chop day to let this 9 catch up. So just need to be aware that, we got to trade the trend we get. If the price action is giving us a trend, then we're going to go in and trade it. But we need to be aware that there's some sentiment indicators and stuff that are screaming that we could possibly see a reversal to the upside. And I don't mean new highs. I mean maybe just a reversal back up to flag into the 9 for the next leg down to go ahead and complete the push up for the bear flag. So it's not all about a downtrend. We need to push back up and put in a new flag for the next trend down. So you got the cues here. Today you can see, try to show some strength right here at the end of the day, but for the most part, you can draw a trend line off of that and pay the bills with it. TLT starting to round here right into this 9, struggling with the 9s, failing here. MACD is trying to close up, but you're starting to see this little arch right here. So it looked like it wanted to go level, and now it's starting to try to open up. So I would be aware that, bonds may still have some more downside in them, and that's not good for the market overall. The IWM, this is one of the few that we were able to take out the 200 on this trend up, but it did end up losing it and pulling back. So the IWM is still holding the 50. So this is a big area to watch. If we can hold this 50, maybe we can get put in the bear flag up to the 9 for the next leg down, or we could just lose the 50 and pull down. But if we are expecting a chop day, we could easily just hang out here and wait on the 9, or maybe even push back up to it. IWM 15-minute chart, you can see the downtrend today. You can literally draw a trend line on a lot of that and just trade right off a trend line. Lift, we talked about this gap Sunday, and we've come down, filled, almost filled the complete gap. Still not yet, just hanging out, waiting on the 9 to catch up to push it down right now. The 9 has caught up today, so go back real quick. You can see how the 9 has come down and is right there on top of the price action. That 9 will push it down like it's like an anchor laying on top of it. Mara, we got this nice push out of, had this little tabletop here with this little ascending triangle set up, got a nice push out of it. Then you can see it roll. You can see the rounded top broke below the 9. It's come down here, bear flagged up. So now we're just bear flagging on top of the 50 as the 9 comes down. This 9 can apply pressure and end up pulling us down farther. I need to turn the MACD on that one. Meta, I would still not be surprised. If we're going to continue to pull back, I would not be surprised to see a new low or at least a previous low tested. We're not far from it. But we did gap up today. I was on this one in pre-market. This was actually in the daily levels video. Got this huge push here at open. This thing went vertical. Tried to flag in, bounced again, fail up here again, and end up pulling back. But we had that on radar right at market open, and some members were able to take advantage of that nice move. I just seen it pumping in pre-market. Microsoft, we pushed right up into the 200 here coming down. So we pushed up into the 200. We were unable to take it out. You can see kind of put in this rounded top up here. We talked about those tops. We've pulled down, kind of bear flagged over, dropped again, opened up below the 50. Kind of bear flagging over, waiting on a 9 to catch up. Your MACD is bearish. Does look like it has more downside. You can easily see it coming down to support here and see where we go from there. It's hard to say. Definitely looks like it's still some more downside coming into it. Like I say, we are just extended, so I would not be surprised to see the push back up to put a flag in. So MRO, this is rounding here as well. So we may, we have opened up below the 9, tried pushing back up, but I would watch this. When we start to see these rounded tops, you can see the roundedness there, kind of there. When you start to see that, I mean, that is a easy to spot, very bearish signal. Look at Twitter here. See how this rounded top, pulling back, putting in this flag. You could look at this, some people are probably looking at this as a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. To me, it's not enough. to even consider that to be a pattern, but there's probably people looking at it like that. Either way, Netflix pushed up into this gap here, found resistance, and has been pulling back. Holding in pretty well, though, compared to a lot of charts. So you have Nike. All right, so Nike, we tried to break out. We got a small breakout out of it, and we ended up losing the moving averages. Has been coming down. So we are now below the 50. You have a bearish candle pattern here as well. It's an evening star pattern. Nvidia, this double top, confirmed. We broke out, and we're pulling back. Doing a measured move, this would be the same, a measured move you draw from basically the top of your pattern to the bottom of your pattern. So from your double top down to your basically your neckline, and from there to there. So we've almost come very close to completing that pattern as well. I mean, as bad as I, kept wanting to try to tell myself I didn't believe the market was going to break apart this fast because we had such a nice trend up. And we took, a little bit of time to get up there and built some areas for support, and we've just blown right through them. So, my opinion is I didn't really think the market was going to pull back like this, but the signs, the technical analysis on the charts are telling me the market's going to pull back. Either way, I don't bring my opinion into the trading room. I leave my opinion behind, and I come in, and it's all about price action for me. This is the FANG index. This follows, the FANG stocks. You got Netflix, Google, Apple, Tesla's in there, Twitter's in there. There's a lot more stuff in there. Facebook, there's more in there than what people did realize. But you can see it's rounding over here. So this trend line, I was watching to see if we could find some support there. We ended up breaking below that. We did try to retest the 9 today. So MACD's bearish, but that whole sector, which is a lot of big tech names, you can see the bearishness right there. That's a lot of our favorite names to trade, and you can see the bearishness in the chart that tracks that index. Now, Oxy, you can see Oxy pushed it open. Once again, we were always on energy names. Flagged in, pushed again, but found resistance at your previous pre-market level here. So basically, this is actually an after hours level. But this is why, some traders will tell you, turn that stuff off. You don't need that on. My opinion, very important levels. We trade to these pre-market and after-hour levels every day. We find those levels important. Oxy here. You can also start to see the rounded top breaking below the 9. You can start to see them round. Energy give a good trade on Monday, but looks like they're pulling back. Palantir, you got this downtrend. It's not perfect. Looks like we did take it out today, tested the 9, then pulled back. You can see, gap down, rounded top into a bear flag. Either way, it's all into that trend line, except for today, it ended up taking it out. And the 9's the ultimate, tool there to drive the price action lower. Palantir, you can see it was a pretty flat day. It did pull back and it just kind of chopped around. It was not the best day to trade it. Pendleton down below the 50, did push up a little bit today, put it in an inside bar. That's worth watching. Inside bars are always worth watching. Plug down here testing on the 9 and the 20. You also have an old support level here that I have drawn in for some reason. Just an old line. Probably has nothing to do with what we're looking at right now. But still a viable line. Real estate sector. So Sunday's video, we pointed out this wasn't even really complete yet, head and shoulders pattern, and really didn't complete it like I would like to have seen. I'd like to have seen another candle in here, then drop, but it ended up just dropping. We're below the 50 there. So you can watch that whole sector for bearishness. You can see a bearish MACD on it. RBLX, Roblox, you can see pushed right in here to a previous level. This is why technical analysis is so important. Taking time to look at your charts. You could see the level right there. So if you were in the position, if you took the position here, possibly you got out there on that candle. But if you didn't, you would have been looking to take profits there. Or if you're a trader, you find an area like this and you can build a plan way down here and be like, all right, set yourself an alert so it'll alert you when it gets there. Then you wait for the reaction. Build a plan to go both ways. have a plan to trade it in both directions. If you're an options trader, if you're a Trend Catalyst member, make sure you're building a plan to trade that in both directions. We have the tools to do that, with options. SPX, you can almost see, we talked about this the other day, shoulder, head, shoulder. I'm not really looking at it like that. Either way, rounded top, resistance at the 200s, they're working its way down. Now we've broken below this 50. Same setup with a lot of these other stocks. I have to watch them. CRM, things just been on they had a bad earnings as well, but they've just been on a big sell. You see it was down today. This is a small cap still watching. STSA, it broke out of this, tried to push up. This little tabletop did push up today, end up pulling back right into that Bollinger Band. Still holding the top of that table though. Snow, watching this for a gap fill. We talked about these candles, how they were starting to look bearish. And the last 3 days we've been pulling back. That actually completes a candle pattern there. You got an evening star. So that's a bearish candle pattern. So it's telling us basically the next 1 to 3 days is most likely going to be down candles. We've got the 3 days now. Definitely keep an eye on it because it can give us more than that. So let's see if we catch some downside. The MACD's trying to roll. It had that pop on earnings. The MACD's trying to roll here. 9's on its way up, but you can see volume's definitely changed. Did have some volume on that move up, but we have a gap to fill there, so let's keep an eye on that one. SoFi looks like it tried to push today, a firm push. For some reason, they were coming after these names. PayPal pushed at the beginning of the day as well. So we pushed into the 200 today, and then we've seen reversal there. It did push again at the end of the day. It's pulling back here in pre-market or after hours. SoFi daily chart, once again, head, shoulder, or pushing into a downtrend. Either way, if you look at the head and shoulders, we have took the neckline out. Even if you redrew the neckline down here, we've taken it out. Expect more downside. If the market continues trading like it is, we probably come down here and test lows. The pattern's definitely big enough to give us that move. The Dow, the diamond, so pushed up. This one we ended up taking out this downtrend. I heard a lot of people talking about this downtrend on the SPY, but we never reached it. It wasn't an issue yet. We never reached a downtrend. The 200 was the issue there. We were close, but we never reached it. The diamond did take the downtrend out, also took the 200 out, and ended up pulling back with the overall market. You can see the MACD down there, very bearish. SPY's weekly chart. We had this nice push up, and we just been steady pulling back. We are back below all the major moving averages there. SPY daily chart back below the 200. 9's coming down. This one we are a little extended on. We're down to 395. We were actually watching 396 today. Was yesterday's low. Watching some other numbers that played out well. This one we're a little extended on. Once again, I would love to see push back up, try to connect with this 9, and then get another trend down, or a reversal and a strong trend up. I just would like to see a strong trend. I could care if it spends half the day going in one direction, the other half going in the other. I'd just like to see strong trends. But with the sentiment and indicators screaming oversold, would be nice to get a move back up. I would feel a little better about, constantly going in on these short plays if I was closer to if I wasn't so far extended away from my 9. SPY, nice downtrend today. Very nice tradable downtrend. SPY and Tesla, I traded quite a bit. So Square here, you got this, head and shoulders topping pattern once again. Bear flagging right into your 9. It's exactly, this is textbook head and shoulders. I don't like the symmetry on it, but the way they pull back and then bear flag, that's how, if you study head and shoulders patterns, that's what they do. The actual shoulders, nothing but flag. It flags in, then pulls back and flags and flags and flags, creating a stair step down. So that's making a textbook move right now, back into the 9. See if this 9 will pull us down. Not crazy about this MACD. I prefer it to be dumping or with a bigger mouth. I'm just kind of thinking that may want to start to try to level off, so I would be careful there. Pattern's working right now. XLK, inverted head and shoulders topping pattern, pull back under the, same setup under the 50, waiting on the 9 to come down. Would prefer to move down with the 9. Tesla pulling back today right into support. So you can see Tesla's pulled right back right into the previous, remember this candle pattern that we went long on. So Tesla's pulled right back into support here. Twitter kind of got a little head and shoulders pattern there. It's not really textbook. Either way, I like it more as a bear flag waiting on a 9 to take it down. Uber, this inverted cup and handle, this is trying to break to the upside, which inverted cup and handles do. Their majority will break to the downside, but they can have a break upwards as well. This one is trying to, you start to see this 9 roll in. It's definitely one worth keeping your eye on. Your MACD starting to change character as well. Definitely one to keep the eye on. UNG, trying to trade in this channel now. If you move this line down lower down here, look at that as a channel. But you can see if you move your line up a little bit, the last 2 days has been trading in that channel. So it wouldn't hurt to draw that channel out, see if you can get a third day just trading in that channel. UNG, we're getting a rounded, you see how it's starting to round right there. So you're starting to get a rounded top coming off these cups, pushing up kind of like Chewy, breaking out of a cup and handle pattern right into a rounded top. That's exactly what that's starting to look like. Upstart, so we've come back down here and tested a previous support level. We did take this level out down here, but we tested it yesterday, tried pushing up, watched this for a bear flag, 3 candles pushing up into your 9, bear flag. Watch that for a move down. It's not exactly textbook, but push it open. They come after these names, PayPal, Affirm, SoFi, push it open and sold. Wells Fargo, these tried to push, banks tried to stay strong at open, and then they just ripped back. They give a nice push there and then another pullback. Look at that bearish volume coming at the end of the day. We also had a big sell on MOC, very big, over $4 billion sell, and I've seen volume coming at the end of the day. There's also tomorrow, so there's tomorrow's 401k, 401k day, and there may have been some there may have been some of the big guys moving some money around by being the end of the month, but we still had a big sell at the end of the day. MOC's market on close, if you didn't know what MOC is. It's just another tool we keep in our toolbox. The XLF, the bank sector, you can see it's kind of flagging here, trying to hold this 50, but it looks like it did break below. Need to see where that opens tomorrow, see if we can confirm below that 50, maybe find some short action there. ExxonMobil, rounded, see the roundedness, we ended up breaking below that 9 yesterday, tried to bounce off the 20 today. Look at this MACD, looks like our energy names may be trying to fall apart on us. Back to AMC. So that concludes our video for today. I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll see you in the trading room.